thoughts on Deshaun Watson? He ends up in Cleveland, and that was, I think, the last place anybody expected him to land.
Yeah, it seemed like he was in the process of naming his destination. And then the Niners, there was that report from Jim Trotter, like, well, if Deshaun goes to Cleveland, goes to Houston and says, there's only one place I want to go, maybe they could get him. Well, it seemed like he accommodated Houston just fine. Like, Houston got the highest bidder. And Deshaun said, sure, I'm happy to go to Cleveland, I guess. I mean, it's a good team, but it's still Cleveland. I'm surprised. But they're a contender with him. They could win the Super Bowl with him.
Yeah, I think they can. I think it's a good move for him. I find it funny because, it was one of those things where Cleveland's out of the running was the report 2 days ago, or yesterday morning, and then you hear Baker Mayfield, requests a trade. He wants out. The Browns tell him, no, you're not being traded. And then this morning, right around lunchtime, it breaks that it's going to be Cleveland after all. It's like that. What is it? What is that saying? They're throwing you out, but all of a sudden, just when you think you're out, they reel you back in. And that's really what they've done here.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, wasn't there a report a few days ago that Deshaun had ruled out Cleveland as a destination?
Yeah, yes, there was. There was a report that he had ruled them out. And then that's when the report broke that Baker Mayfield had requested a trade. And then within 5 minutes of it being reported that he requested a trade, there was a report on
this is fishy to me
that the Browns said, no, we're not trading you.
This is fishy to me. See, to me, Deshaun wanted to go to Atlanta, and Houston got the best offer from Cleveland, and Cleveland got what it wanted. I don't know. Maybe they had some leverage over Deshaun Watson. Deshaun's had a tough last 12 months, so maybe he just felt like, you know what? Instead of going to war with the Texans, let's just give them what they want and get the hell out of town. Maybe that's what he wanted. He's like, fine. If Cleveland it is. Maybe he just capitulated.
Yeah, possibly. But
Yeah.
the Browns have an offense that I think suits them, right? They kind of have a Kyle Shanahan-esque system.
Better team than Atlanta.
Better team. Yeah, he has better weapons there, I believe, than he did in Atlanta. I think that's a team that was close. 2 years ago, they were close. Last year, they dealt with Mayfield being injured a bunch, so that's, I think, slowed them down a little bit. I think they're a team that can contend right away. The AFC, what are they in the AFC North? That division isn't all that great. Baltimore had a down year. Pittsburgh doesn't have a quarterback.
They got Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
There you go.
They got Amari Cooper. They no longer have Jarvis Landry, but he's kind of old. And Odell Beckham Jr.'s been off that team, but it's still they still have Nick Chubb. Good team. David Njoku.
Yeah, no, they have a really good team. So it was just came out of nowhere. It's kind of cool. In terms of Watson going to Cleveland, how do you think that impacts everything with Jimmy Garoppolo? And we're going to get into him a little bit more, but just this trade in particular, do you think there's an impact that this move has with Garoppolo, or is it like everything else? There's multiple dominoes.
I think so. I mean, Matt Barrows reported that it's Indianapolis and only Indianapolis as far as trade markets for Jimmy Garoppolo. I believe Matt Barrows. He's very connected. And now, according to Ian Rappaport, Indianapolis is a prime destination, quote unquote, for Baker. So it seems to me like Baker requesting a trade is something that the Niners couldn't have prepared for. Like 2 weeks ago, you never would have seen that coming. And it seems like it's going to bite him. That Baker is going to be a couple of weeks ago, I was basically taunting Niners Twitter online saying, the Colts should get this guy or this guy. Every time they can be like, well, Derek Carr's not available or Kirk Cousins. And I really didn't have anything. Now, out of nowhere, it's Baker. And I think the Niners couldn't plan for it. And this is really throwing a monkey wrench in their plans, which is why, sometimes plans don't work out. Sorry.
Yeah, and we'll get into that. We'll get into that one right now in a second. But real quick, David, thank you for the donation. He says he went to Cleveland for the guaranteed money period because it's $230 million guaranteed. All of it's guaranteed. You don't see that very much in the NFL, but 230.
How did I miss that? So he got the Kirk Cousins deal.
Pretty much 230 fully guaranteed. It's like 80 million more than the next closest guarantee. So it's big money for him.
That's going to be Kirk Cousins' legacy to the NFL. The fact that he introduced those type of contracts. Him. Kirk, the most mediocre quarterback there's ever been, is going to get people like Deshaun Watson super duper duper rich. So good for Kirk and good for Deshaun.
Yeah, I love I love the fact that you said he's mediocre because that fits right in with I don't feel like he's a whole lot different than Jimmy Garoppolo. He's better than him
Nah,
maybe a little bit, but there's not a
yeah,
big difference between the two, especially when you start
nah.
to look at the money that one's making.